Batman and Wonder Woman are a relationship that I have loved for a very long time. Now, in terms of the Snyderverse, I definitely didn't enjoy it that much on the live action screen. But in terms of like the animated, the comics and stuff like that, I've always loved Batman and Wonder Woman. And really, there's a lot of reasons for this, and I'm going to break it down to you, at least for my personal, viewpoint of why I love them so much as a couple. Now, I will admit this, Batman's a hard person to really get in a relationship, because at the end of the day, Batman is completely in the mindset of he has a mission, nobody can really affect his mission, and on top of that, he believes that anybody who is remotely around him, he remotely cares for, or they care for him, will be in trouble and will be, essentially a target no matter what. But that is just one reason why I love their relationship, is because Wonder Woman, she is exactly what her name is, a Wonder Woman. I mean, she is ridiculous in terms of power, so really taking her out to get to Batman is not really the best choice of action. I mean, at the end of the day, she will absolutely beat the living heck out of you if you decide to essentially try to take advantage of her love for Batman or love for Bruce Wayne. And it's pretty obvious that it's not going to be easy to get through Wonder Woman to get to Batman. So yeah, for one of the reasons, that is definitely a good reason to have a relationship with Wonder Woman herself, or Batman having a relationship with Wonder Woman. But frankly, the big thing in, the whole relationship idea for Batman and Wonder Woman, and in not a cliche way you could even say, is basically it's light meeting the darkness. I mean, Batman, he is a person that is full of trauma, but it's a lot of controlled discipline, paranoia, relentless willpower that is shaped by essentially all the loss that he went through throughout his life. Wonder Woman is a person and a character that brings a lot of light to Batman, right? She brings a lot of light, and she might be this warrior princess, but she has a ton of compassion, honor, and the main thing that makes her so great for Batman specifically is that she has this optimism about the world, and optimism that really isn't broken that easily. I mean, at the end of the day, Wonder Woman sees the world in a completely different way than anyone else. I mean, she was sheltered in Themyscira, so the fact is, she doesn't really understand the world, or at least see the world in a specific way. And you could look at that as either bad or good, but in my eyes, it's great, because Wonder Woman will look at things in a completely objective way, right? We'll look at things completely without bias, and we'll look at things in the way of you know what? I can see why things are bad, or they look bad, or why this person did this, but I also can understand that they were going through this, and this, so that's why they were doing it. She can, in a way, sympathize with certain people, certain villains, certain things like that, but also know at the same time that these are bad people, right? Because at the end of the day, she does bring a different version of quote-unquote light to Batman. She's not this happy-go-lucky, she's a warrior. She is an Amazonian princess warrior. So yeah, she doesn't bring this go-lucky, airheaded light to Batman, but she does bring a different perspective. And I think that right there is what makes them so great together, is that she's able to bring a different perspective to Batman, but also can understand so many aspects that go through his head specifically. I mean, she's been through conflicts, wars, and moral complexities that's really most others would not have gone through. So having that decent middle ground where she's not too naive, but also not too pessimistic, but really balanced with Batman, where Batman is, let's be honest, very, very, very pessimistic. He is really looking at everybody at their worst, right? He's thinking about things at their worst. I mean, there's a reason why that he's such a good strategist and somebody who's always prepared for practically every single scenario is because he always looks at the dark parts. He never looks at the good things in people, right? Or at least for the most part, really doesn't. So it's genuinely perfect for him and Wonder Woman to have that type of relationship and that type of partnership in general. And another reason why it makes them such an amazing couple, or another reason why what makes them such an amazing couple, is really because of the mutual respect that they both have for each other. Wonder Woman understands what Batman brings to the table, what he does day in and day out, and all of the above, right? There's a lot of people out there that fear Batman and idolize Wonder Woman, but at the same time, these two, respectively, they don't feel that way about each other. Wonder Woman doesn't look at him like he's some fearful or some basically scary or terrifying bat. And obviously Batman doesn't really look at Wonder Woman like this goddess that people should idolize. They have this mutual respect between the two of them, even though genuinely they are very different. Diana does look at Bruce like she doesn't see necessarily just some scary bat that basically beats people into submission. She sees Batman or Bruce in a totally different light than most people. But she's also not afraid to call him out basically on his BS. If Batman decides to basically take a shortcut with their friendships, or act a certain way based on the relationship that they're building, she's not afraid to call him out. And frankly, Bruce isn't afraid as well to kind of lay out the way he feels about certain things. He's very blunt. He does not sugarcoat things, and it's kind of perfect for Diana because she doesn't take this to heart. She's not taking this like, oh, you're just rude, you're just mean, you're just this. No, she takes every word that he says very seriously. She takes everything he says like it's the truth and nothing but the truth, because that's who Batman, and that is who Bruce Wayne is. And Diana isn't a person that wants to be tiptoed around, isn't a person that wants you to essentially tiptoe on your words, all the time. And you can see that they fully and utterly respect each other on a totally different scale, even if it is a different version of respect. But at the end of the day, respect is respect, right? They might disagree with certain things. They might see the way that they approach heroics differently, but at the same time, they respect each other. At least, most versions of them respect each other. And that is really, really good for their relationship, especially when you're dealing with one person not having superpowers and the other one having powers, which is surprising that they can challenge each other so much, right? The two of them can really challenge each other on so many good ways. Good relationships, they don't erase the flaws, they really expose them and give them room to truly grow. Diana challenges kind of Bruce or Batman's emotional side and challenges it to really poke holes in it, right? Find the vulnerabilities and the weaknesses, and frankly, find the person that Bruce once was and the person that Bruce is basically trying to be. Because at the end of the day, Batman or Bruce Wayne, they went through a lot to get to the point that they're at. And I mean in the way of being a vigilante, I mean in the way of, how they act around criminals, around crime, and around people. So her being able to poke holes in those things and find vulnerabilities to really find the true version of Bruce and Batman is something that is perfect for her to challenge. And on top of that, Bruce challenges Diana's kind of outlook on life itself, right? She is very optimistic, but he wants to make sure that she doesn't lose the way of really questioning things and making sure that she doesn't, be completely airheaded in a way that she thinks all people are just good and they deserve everything, right? They deserve a chance at this, or yada, 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 right? At the end of the day, he wants her to have basically a good outlook on every aspect. He doesn't want her to, to always think good things, right? Over people that don't deserve it. But he doesn't also want her to be like him. He doesn't want her to be anything like him in terms of, always seeing the bad side of people and always taking these precautions, because that's not who she is and that's not who she was raised to be. So in terms of challenging each other, they're able to really help each other out in really honing in on what is the best possible aspects of each other as well. And the chemistry that they build, like in general, like multiple, like in comics and also in animated TV shows, the chemistry that they build is always super subtle. It's never like super forced or crammed down your throat. It's always this subtle friendship, relationship that they start building, a curiosity, a slow burn romance that, let's be honest, yeah, it would be cool if these two got together. There's flirty moments, cute moments. There's moments where you're like, yeah, you definitely have something for each other. But there's also moments where it's very slow burn. There's the quiet moments, the glances, right? The mutual curiosity. These things are really good for a romance and really good for a relationship. I'm not even the biggest fan of a slow burn romance. Like, I'm not the biggest person on slow burn. But having a slower based romance where you can tell these two have curiosities, you can tell these two have some sort of feelings for each other based on their emotions and what they're giving, but it doesn't have to be outright said. The emotions they have and the feelings they have don't have to be completely omitted. They can be shown through action, right? It doesn't have to be words. And funny enough, these two characters are perfect for that, right? They are perfect for those actions, perfect to show your feelings through actions themselves. I mean, think about it. You can go from them training together, them fighting side by side, or even them understanding that they would sacrifice things on their own, like through their own will for the other person. We have seen it time and time again that Batman, even though she knowing that she is some Amazonian princess that is basically a goddess, he would still sacrifice so much of his human body, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, his human being that is very, very vulnerable would sacrifice himself to make sure that she's okay. And he would put himself through anything he possibly can to make sure that she is okay. And frankly, she would do the same. The sacrifices these two would make for each other would be way stronger than any words of affection or any words of saying that they're in love with each other or any words of wanting more. These two are the perfect idea of not only slow burn romance, but also a romance that is all about action, all about the forefront of what you do for another person to make sure not only they are safe, but also to make sure they know that they are loved, even if you don't want to admit it with words at all. And that right there is what makes that relationship so amazing. I mean, no one dominates this relationship, right? No one is like the heavy favorite in the relationship. It's not like there's any intimidation or like overpowerment in terms of what they're trying to do. They are trying to make a relationship happen that is slow, that is thought out, and really understood, because frankly, there's nothing else that would be more satisfying for these two to truly have that type of relationship for. And at the end of the day, Batman and Wonder Woman aren't your most predictable couple in the world, right? They're not. But it is a partnership that is really forged and kind of combined into to make this kind of combination of hope and realism, compassion and discipline, maybe like this idea of like, you know, war and peace, and frankly, humanity and like godhood, because that's what Wonder Woman is. I always love the idea that Batman or Bruce Wayne can legitimately have a goddess fall in love with him because of the person that he is trying to be and the person that this goddess can truly see. But I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the Wonder Woman and Batman ship and the Wonder Woman and Batman relationship in general. Love to hear what you guys have to say about the video. Make sure to leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, YouTube believes you'll enjoy this one, so might as well go check it out.